Today is chicken day, and that's gonna be the chicken coop, and I'm so excited. So we headed out to get some lunch, and we stopped at Chick-fil-A. I had a taste for a really good chicken salad, and so after that, we hopped over to Tractor Supply because they were like, yes, we got some chicks in. They had run out last week, so I knew I needed to make it in at some point today to get our first batch of chicks. We're getting 10 chicks. I got the Barred Rock and the Wyandotte. I think I'm pronouncing those right. These are, I can't remember the name of those. Anyway, these are the ones we got right here. These little cuties. I got 5 of them. And then I've got 5 of the Wyandotte. And the workers at Tractor Supply were super helpful because I had no idea what I was doing. So they helped me figure out a whole bunch of stuff. And once we got all of the chicks loaded up, we got all of the supplies we needed, which was some feed. I got a 20-pound bag of feed. And I also got the brooder heater lamp, which I'll show you that here in a second, along with the shavings, the pine shavings, and the drink, the feeder and the little drinker thing. But I ended up getting some smaller stuff because you'll see why. So that's the little drinker thing I got, and that's the feeder thing I got because mason jars, those both work with mason jars. And apple cider vinegar is important for baby chicks along with sugar water. So I made them some sugar water with some apple cider vinegar. So my original brooder will not work because of the size of the brooder heater. So I had to go back in the back and find something to use. And we had an old cabinet, thank God, that I was able to clean out and fill up with shavings. I got a paver for the water, and I put the heater in there, and it still gives them enough room to, kind of have some exercise, because that tote was not going to work with that heater. The heater was going to take up the entirety of the tote. So thank God I had this cabinet in the back and was able to use that and repurpose that. So they've got plenty of room. I got my mason jar and my feeder situation. This is all gravity fed. And I don't have a paver right now for the feeder. I didn't at the time that I put it in, but I sent somebody out to go get one. It's interesting how everybody disappeared when I started doing all this. Like, my husband went for a walk, my son went to McDonald's, my other son went somewhere, and it was just me. They already knew what time it was. But I got it done, and it took me a second. I knew I needed to help them figure where the food was. So I read somewhere that you kind of, or on one of the YouTube or TikToks, they said poke at the food like you're the mommy and they'll figure it out. And that worked. This one chick in particular responded really well to me tapping all the time, and they figured out where the water was. That was gonna be my brooder. Yeah, no, I'm using it for storage right now. So like I said, I had to put my old Girl Scout cap on and figure out another solution. And that's basically what happened with the cabinet. And then this is me. Finally, I turned the heater lamp over, and I had to lift it up a little bit to give them an idea of how to go under it, because it's kind of on the lowest setting so that it mimics the mommy. And thank God for this heater, because these things were so loud. But once they got underneath this heater, that's exactly what they were wanting. It's really no different than a newborn baby. It's like you just got to figure out what it is that they need. And I have this on the lowest setting right now. And as I, lifted it up, they all went under there. And I was afraid I was going to squish them, but it wasn't. It's totally fine. They were able to kind of burrow underneath there, and they started to feel the warmth, and they got the point. Like, they understood, oh, this is where it is at, right? So they stayed under there for a little while, and here in a second I'll be quiet so you can hear them not make noise. So everybody's all settled in, and I've got them in the corner in my dining room for now. This is just going to be a temporary solution until we get a bigger brooder in another area. And so I'm going to cover them up with hardware cloth so that my dog doesn't mess with them. And yeah, so they're home, and they know where their food is. They know where their water is. I do need to go get some press and seal saran wrap for the top of the brooder lamp, or the brooder heater rather, so when they start pooping, they don't make a mess all over it. Shout out to whichever TikToker you were with that tip. I watched so many TikToks, I can't even remember, but there was a girl who did a tip where you put the press and seal saran wrap or whatever that is on there, and this is my husband who is so excited about all of this, and my youngest son who knows he's gonna probably get swindled into helping. So chicken day was a success, and I will keep you guys posted on what happens next. Peace.